you doing? I'm Steve Beauchamp. Thank you for joining me on another episode. Again, still looking for, I think, the name of what this this podcast will be called. I've kind of landed on the fact that I'm going to call this a podcast, so I figured that out. So yay! But don't have a name yet, so still kind of working that out. But that's okay. Today, I wanted to talk a little bit about your professional pursuit. And as you probably guessed from the title of the episode, it's all about how to choose your professional pursuit, which, let's be honest, it seems a little nebulous and seems a little bit abstract sometimes to think about, well, like, what does that really mean? And so hopefully at the end of this episode, it'll make a little bit more sense to you. And so as you know, right, or maybe you don't know, but I think most people that follow me know I'm a big fan of the Japanese culture and philosophy and way of life. And I've learned so much about my own life through discovering some of those philosophies and bits of wisdom that I've picked up over the years. And, the corresponding philosophy from the Japanese culture around a professional pursuit is what is referred to as your kokorozashi. And, kokorozashi is, it's a complex word to unpack in like a simple definition. And so hopefully over today, it'll make it a little bit more clear. I also have a few other videos on kokorozashi, and it's in the show notes down below, so go check it out. In any case, in order to like really be able to choose what that professional pursuit should be, because this isn't just about setting a goal. This isn't just about saying, well, I want to be this profession. And, most of you that are watching this are most likely in the continuous improvement world, right? In some form or another. So this isn't just about saying, well, yeah, I'm a CI person. Because it's a lot more than that. Okay. And hopefully over this discussion, you'll kind of be able to see what I mean. But basically I'm going to give you a couple of steps on how you can start taking some movement towards really understanding what that means to you personally. And so I'll give you a few practical things that you can do. And yeah, so let's just jump in. So step number one, in order to really understand and define what your professional pursuit needs to be, is to first start from the place of really understanding what are your core values. Like, who are you? Who is this person, right? So trying to really get a picture of your authentic self, right? And you've hopefully heard me talk a lot about, really finding your authentic self, which is, all about discovering your Ikigai, right? And it's really being able to live your life from the place of your authentic self. And you nurture those things that bring joy to your life, right? And you look for ways to perhaps replace other things with more things that bring you joy, right? So it's about finding joy in your daily life. Okay. So, and in order to really enjoy your daily life, you need to understand what your core values are first, right? I mean, that's like fundamental. Understanding what it is for you that you really stand for, and understanding what does standing for it mean. And when you say that you're standing for something, how do you communicate that to other people? How do they know that that's what you stand for? And, I could probably go into a long conversation just on that, but I'm not going to. But the point here I'm trying to make is you need to first understand who you are before you can figure out what your professional pursuit's going to be. And so hopefully that makes sense, because I think if you try to do it the other way around, you're going to be pursuing something that doesn't resonate with you. And I think resonance is not talked about enough. We need to be able to say to ourselves that we resonate with the professional work that we're choosing to do. And so that's step one, right? So really understand your core values. The next thing you want to do after you've like really identified, you know, who you are and where you are like standing, if you will, is to then figure out, well, what are you passionate about? And what are the things that you bring to the table? Like, what are your skills and talents? And trying to like really take some inventory on those things. And, you know, there's likely an intersection of the things that you're really passionate about, your core values, and the skills and talents that you possess, right? Or perhaps the skills and talents you want to develop more of, right? Because it doesn't necessarily need to be that you're an expert in things, right? You can still be developing yourself and working toward a particular outcome, right, that you want for yourself. But it's about understanding what that means to you. And if it flows from your authentic self, then it's going to create that resonance that I was just talking about, right? Because then you're starting to build what I call alignment, right? Your strategic alignment internally for yourself. So it's flowing from that place of your authentic self, right? So it starts there, and then it expands out from there by really trying to understand what it is that you're passionate about, and then what skills and talents do you bring. And when I say being what you're passionate about, it's not about necessarily what kind of work you want to do, right? This is about what are the things that you are passionate about. Like it doesn't need to be something that you're currently being paid for, okay? It's just something that really, really like makes you stand up, right? Makes you stand up on the inside, makes you stand up on the outside. It's something that you just really, this is something that you have a lot of energy behind. So if this is like, you know, connecting with you and you're liking what you hear, I would love it if you would subscribe to the channel, and, you know, kind of give me an idea of what you're thinking. You could drop a like or a dislike or a comment on this video. I would really appreciate it. I'd love to get an idea of, you know, is this landing on people or not? Because then it helps me understand what other content to create in the future. So, you know, we talked about step one is understanding your core values. Step two is really discovering what are you passionate about? What skills and talents do you bring to your, you know, to your current situation? And maybe some other ones that you need to develop, right? And then from there, now you start asking yourself the questions like, okay, how can I take the strengths that I bring, the skills that I have, the talents that I possess, how can I take those things and apply them to this thing that I'm really passionate about so that my core values can live out in the world? Because the thing is, people can't see your core values, right? They can see some of the skill and some of the talent you bring because it's kind of directly related to the things that you do. But nobody can see your core values. So you have to think about, how can I live them out in front of me so that people can see them in action? So this is what we're talking about when it's flowing from your authentic self, right? So you take those core values that are, inside you, and you think about ways to get them outside of you. And this is all about you looking for ways that you can take those skills, talents, abilities, and your passion coupled with your core values and provide something to society that is a service to them. Okay. So this isn't just about, wanting to create more materialistic things. This is about how can I really be of service to the people around? And maybe that is creating and innovating on a particular product. I'm not knocking products, but think about it in terms of how can I be of service to my community, to like a greater global like village, if you will. Because this is about, trying to take those things that I was talking about and allow them to be used for good, right? This isn't just about trying to make a bunch of money and drive a bunch of fancy cars and accumulate a bunch of shit. Okay. This is about being of service to others. And so hopefully that's getting across. And then the last thing you want to do, right? So you've first started from your core values, your authentic self, and then you start unpacking what you're passionate about, your skills, talents, abilities. Figure out how you can use those strengths to help others. And then the last thing you want to do is just be open to opportunity. So start looking around, start asking for help. Have questions, have conversations with people and ask questions to them and say, hey, do you know anybody that can help me? Do you know anybody that's interested in this? Get the word out, right? Whether that's through social media, whether that's through, walking the streets and, banging a drum or whatever you need to do and whatever makes the most sense to you, get your self out there and allow people to see and hear what it is you have to say. And I think if more people approach life this way, if more people approached it in terms of like really wanting to find their passion and their professional pursuit and actually go and pursue it, the world would look very different. Because I feel like we're just in a consumer kind of mentality right now. We're not thinking about things in terms of how can we make the world a better place? We're starting to. But I think at the end of the day, if you're able to approach it this way, you're going to feel better about yourself. You're going to feel better about how you show up. You're going to be like, if you don't want to own your own business and you want to work, as an employee somewhere, you're going to start picking organizations to work for that really resonate with your authentic self, right? Because at the end of the day, if those things are out of alignment, you're not going to be in alignment, right? If you don't align with the organization you work for, that's a fundamental flaw that you need to like understand and correct. So hopefully this all makes sense to you. And, I think if you're struggling currently with this idea of a professional pursuit and you'd like to learn more about how you could, go down this road of being able to build your own professional pursuit, and also if you want to, just learn more about what Ikigai really is from the Japanese context. Spoiler alert, it's not the Venn diagram that you probably have seen on the internet. It's actually so much deeper than that. But if you'd like to learn more, you can visit my website. The website address is just stevebeauchamp.com, and check it out. I do have a coaching program, and I'd be happy to have a conversation with you or correspond with you through email, whatever feels the best to you. Reach out. I'd be happy to help you. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. And I hope that your tomorrow is better than today. So have a good one.